Picture this. It's December in the mid-2000s and you've been a good boy all year long. You got good grades, you did all your chores, and you told Santa that you want that brand new video game for Christmas more than anything. You hoped and you prayed, and the morning finally comes, you rush downstairs, you see all your presents under the Christmas tree, boxes of all shapes and sizes, but one in particular sticks out to you. You know that shape, that thin, flat rectangle, the rattle of the disc inside. You tear off that wrapping paper like a rabid dog, you're frothing at the gash, eyes bulging, you scream out in pure ecstasy, and there it is, your very own copy of Super Mario Galaxy. You open that shit up, you admire the beautiful box art, you check out the screenshots on the back of the case, you snort up a deep breath of that iconic brand new game smell, and you throw that disc in your Wii and it just boots up, and before you know it, you're playing. In between it loading and creating a save file, you flip through the manual, gazing in awe at the colorful pictures and gameplay tips while the intro plays. This is gaming. It's a few years later. You got yourself a job, you're still living at home, so a lot of that income is disposable. You're going to buy as many games as you want. Hell, you're going to buy the collector's edition of those games. Halo Reach is coming out. You're going to pre-order that game and you're going to count the days until its release. That day comes, you drive yourself up to GameStop and you get in line surrounded by friends and fans who have just as much passion for that series as you do. You're going to talk about the game, you're going to discuss what you're going to do first, campaign, firefight, multiplayer, forge. You're going to share memories of crazy things that happen in multiplayer or funny co-op experiences from campaign. You might see some cosplayers there. Maybe somebody even got a collector's edition that they unbox in the store to show off what kind of stuff they got. The clock strikes midnight, those doors open up and everyone rushes inside. You see the clerks bust out that box and hand over the first copy of Halo Reach to the first person in line. You're so excited, it's almost your turn. You finally get your hands on that game. You get in your car, you rush home, you speed home. You're going 15 over the limit because you're so excited. You get inside, you peel off that cellophane and smell that old familiar smell. You throw the disc in your Xbox 360. You flip through that nice thick colorful manual, maybe redeem the code for your pre-order bonus, and it's game time. That joy, that feeling of pure ownership where you actually get to hold the game in your hands and say, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for, and now it's here, it's in my hands, I can see it, I can feel it, I can put it up on my shelf, I can display it with all my other games, and it's in my collection. It's part of my collection. And you know what? One day when I'm bored with it, or sick of it, or even if I don't like it, I could trade it in. I can get some cash for it and I can get something else. Or even give it to a friend as a gift, or even just let them borrow it. Or hell, maybe even just hang on to it forever, and when I have kids of my own one day, I can pull out that old box of my retro game collection and plug in a CRT and show them what I grew up with. This is what it's like to actually own a video game. So let's fast forward to the modern day, 2026. You get a brand new game. Maybe you buy it yourself, maybe it's gifted to you. How does that work? Well, if you're the majority of gamers today, you're buying it digitally and you're playing it on PC. So there's no excitement, there's no anticipation, there's no box to open, there's no manual to look at, there's no smell to smell, there's no disc to feel. You just click a few buttons, add some funds to your digital wallet, and then wait a few hours for it to install. How thrilling. And boy, I hope all your drivers are updated and your shaders are loaded, and oh man, I hope you have enough RAM to play this game. Are your parts all in order? Is your graphics card up to date? Did you spend another $1,000 on that part that you needed to replace from 3 years ago? And how many of you work from home these days? How many of you spend 8-9 hours at home, at a desk with your face a foot away from a computer monitor, typing away all day? When the workday finally ends, you continue to sit at that desk with your face a fucking foot away from the monitor, and boot up a digital game that you bought on Steam on your PC. And boy, I sure hope you do like that game, because you only have 2 hours to play it until you can get a refund. After that, you're stuck with it forever, because you bought a digital fucking game and that you can't trade in, that you can't sell, that you can't do anything with, because it's nothing. It's just fucking data. I don't know about you guys, but I actually like to own the shit that I pay for. And the only way to own your games is on a console. If you buy digitally on a PC, don't fool yourself into thinking that you actually own anything. You don't own a damn thing. You own a license, at most, to access the game. You are given the privilege to pay for a demo. Same goes for if you buy games digitally on consoles, too. You could buy digital on PlayStation or Xbox or Switch. But you know what? You don't really own those either. That's right, if you want to actually own your games, the only way to do that is with a physical disc or a cartridge. And before you start typing, don't give me that debunked myth about how discs are just a license key to download the game. I don't know how many times it has to be said, but the vast majority of games are fully on the disc with no internet or updates required. You can rip out the fucking Ethernet cable, you can disconnect your router, put the disc into your PS5, and it will install, and you can play the entire game from start to fucking finish. There are some exceptions to this, but they're almost entirely Microsoft and Ubisoft games. If you look down on the box near the ESRB rating, there will be a notice that says that the game requires internet to play. But there's really not many games that are like this. If you're really curious, go to doesitplay.com and you can type in the name of pretty much any modern game, and it will tell you if it just works off the disc or if it does require internet. Now let me get back on track. Real gaming to me, I think AVGN said it best. It's sitting on your couch with a controller in your hands. That's gaming, not hunched over at a desk on a 20-inch monitor. I hear the PC Master Race gloat about how games are, 120 FPS on PC, with a resolution of fucking 9K, with ray tracing and fucking chromatic aberration and all that other shit that I couldn't care less about. When it comes to the performance of games, they're optimized for consoles anyway. Because like it or not, PC, while oddly enough it may be a bigger market in terms of overall buyers, it's not the primary demographic for developers. When they're developing these games, they're not making it with PC people in mind typically. They're making it with console players in mind. And that's why you hear so often about so many god-awful PC ports of games. Because they're not made for PC, they're made for console and ported to PC. I can't tell you how many times a year I hear about yet another fucked up PC port of a game. Most recently there was Borderlands 4 I heard was having a lot of issues on PC, even to the point where people with $2,000, $3,000 gaming rigs couldn't get the game to perform functionally. And you know what? I don't know how that feels, because on console the game just works, because that's what it's made for. Not only do PC players have to deal with constantly fucked up ports and hoping to God that their settings and their parts are strong enough to handle something as graphically demanding as Borderlands 4, but I recently discovered the file sizes PC guys are dealing with. Why are your games twice as big as a console? I'm looking at a list here. God of War Ragnarok, 84 gigabytes on PS5. That's not too bad. But 190 gigabytes on PC? Jesus Christ! Stellar Blade, 30 gigs on PS5, 75 gigs on PC. Spider-Man 2, 107 gigs on PS5, 140 gigs on PC. How do you put up with this shit? I thought some of the file sizes on PS5 were bad, but good lord. I hope the 5% better graphics and the reflections in the puddles are worth it. If you even have a monitor that can handle it. And with all this news about how parts are getting more expensive and RAM costs are going up and how chips are getting harder and rarer to manufacture, damn, it sure is nice to have a console where I don't have to worry about replacing parts. Yeah, it's like your boy Todd Howard once said. It just works.
It's not, I'm not kidding. It just works.
And on the off chance that my console were to break, it's cheaper to replace an entire console than it is some individual PC parts. When I hear PC people talk about the intricacies of their machines that they've made with all the different kind of parts and brands and the cases they have and rattle off numbers, this is my 3090, my 4070, whatever the fuck it is. I know I'm not in that realm and it's Greek to me, but it just seems so soulless, so passionless. Like it's not about the games itself, it's just about what kind of tech you can utilize to make it a little bit shinier. And when it comes to mods, I really don't care about mods. I like to enjoy the games the way that they were actually meant to be played. I have respect for the artistic vision behind the product. Don't get me wrong, I see the appeal behind the funny, silly meme aspect of turning Mr. X into Thomas the Tank Engine, but I just prefer it authentic. The more the industry leans into digital gaming and away from physical copies like they're trying to phase them out, it just feels like the industry is dying, like the sense of ownership is slowly disappearing and all the companies will control everything. I mean, look at games like The Crew, or Deadpool, or Transformers Fall of Cybertron. These games are delisted now. If you didn't already have them purchased digitally, you can't play them anymore, unless you go out and buy the physical disc. Or emulate them, I guess. I guess that's always an option. But, just like PC gaming itself, emulation is just phony and inauthentic. Emulation is like the tofu of gaming. It's the impossible meat that might look and taste like the real thing, but you know it's fake. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, I'm quite sick of how fake and inauthentic the world is these days. And maybe I'm a boomer just trying to hold on to whatever I can that's real and tangible. Hell, even our money isn't even real anymore. There's no gold behind it. Nobody has physical cash anymore. It's just data. It's just numbers on a banking app on your phone. That being said, I have noticed a trend of younger gamers buying and collecting retro physical games. So maybe there is hope for the future. And as the economy and world gets worse and things get more expensive, it might actually force us to go back that way. I guess we'll see. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Till next time, adios.